Hello, I'm Dr. Mustafa Fathi, and this is the first lecture of Basics of Treatment Planning. We will be discussing in this series of lectures some basic rules of treatment planning. We may start with some simple treatment basics, and we can proceed to a more advanced one in the upcoming lecture. So our first rule here is called same extraction, same anchorage. So if you have a class 1 case, you have class 1 molar, class 1 canine, you cannot extract in the upper arch and you do a non-extraction treatment in the lower arch. And also you cannot use different anchorage between the upper and lower arch. For example, if you used, in this case, upper and lower fours, moderate anchorage, you should use this moderate anchorage in the upper arch and the lower arch. You can never do an extraction treatment in the upper and non-extraction in the lower. This is to maintain your interdigitation, molar relation, and canine relationship. So what if you extracted in one arch only? For example, in this case, if you extracted in the upper arch only, what will happen if you extracted the upper incisors and you do a non-extraction treatment in the lower arch? You will end up with a full unit class 3 canine relationship. So you can never do that. You must extract in a maximum anchorage also in the lower arch to maintain your interdigitation. So you must use the same extraction and same anchorage. So what if you use the different anchorage? If you used maximum anchorage, for example, in the upper arch and moderate anchorage in the lower arch, you will end up with class 3 molar relationship and class 3 canine relationship. So you must use also maximum anchorage in the lower arch. So what is meant by same extraction? Does this mean that you should extract upper 4, lower 4, upper 5, lower 5? No, it means that you can extract one unit in the upper arch and one unit in the lower arch. You can extract, for example, upper lateral and lower 4. In this case, you will change your canine relationship into your canine into lateral and your premolar into canine. And in the lower arch, you will extract the lower 4. So now you extracted one unit in the upper arch and one unit in the lower arch and use also the same anchorage. If you use the moderate anchorage, you will end up with class 1 molar relationship. So if you moved the upper molar forward, you must move the lower molar in the same direction. So you can extract upper lateral, lower 4, upper lateral, lower 5, upper 4, lower 5. You can do all of these extraction patterns. Also, the space requirements should be the same in class 1 cases. What's meant by space requirement? Space requirement is the amount of space that you will use from your from the unit that you extracted. For example, if you extracted upper first premolar, which is 7 millimeters, for example. So in this case, you have a proclination in the upper arch and overjet, and in the lower arch, you have crowding. So you will extract in the upper and lower arch. You'll extract in the lower arch maximum anchorage to relieve crowding. So you almost used your 7 millimeters. Clinically, you don't use the total 7 millimeters, but if you use this 7 millimeters, you will use it for decrowding. And in the upper arch, you will use this 7 millimeters for retraction, not for decrowding. But the same anchorage requirement in the upper and lower arch, you achieve the same anchorage requirement in the upper and lower arch. So you use, but with different methods. So in the upper arch, you used it for retraction, and in the lower arch, you used it for decrowding, but you maintained your molar relationship. If you use the maximum anchorage in the upper, you will use maximum anchorage in the lower arch. If you used moderate in the upper, moderate in the lower. The method of using the space in the upper arch was for retraction, but you used the 7 millimeters, and in the lower arch, used your 7 millimeters for decrowding, but it's the same anchorage requirement. Use the same amount of space. Thank you. Always remember to keep your decisions simple and safe. See you in the next rule.